Hello, Magic Muse, witches, heathens. Welcome back to As Above, So Below. So we're going to be doing a psychic segment for the next few videos because I want to go through all of the clairs, but I felt like I needed to give them their own video because I wanted to go into deeper depth with some of the things that have come up for me, and it may resonate with some of you. So we're going to talk about clairvoyance today, which this is the clair that a lot of people already know. It is clear seeing. So if you have seen psychic shows, that's so Raven, like any Hollywood dramatized thing where the psychic sees something and they get a flash, like that is clairvoyance. It doesn't always happen like what they portray in shows, but it is clear mental pictures. So I have had clairvoyance happen in a multitude of ways. So when I was first developing, I was already a very visual person. I do aesthetics. I am very like artistic. I love sparkly things. Like I'm just very drawn with my eye to any sort of artistic thing. And I was working with my friend and I was sitting back and she was like right in front of me and I started seeing sparkles. Like there was a figure that was starting to come together that was right next to her. So there's so many ways to receive the information. Some psychic people see things outside and a lot of them also see things inside. So, but a lot of psychics can also say, I don't see them out here, I see them in here. Just so happens that I've had both experiences. I've also had a lot of flashes of information that come through. So when I'm doing a reading, I will see a flash of information. Like the other day, I was doing a tarot reading for one of my clients, and I saw a flash of a map, and I was like, do you have a map? There's something that was popping up for you with this map. And she's like, oh yeah, my daughter just gave me a map yesterday and I'm ticking off all of the places that I've been. And I'm like, okay, well that makes a lot of sense. I've also seen rings. I've seen letters and frames before. But I think the biggest thing that happened to me was I was actually in the middle of sleeping. They like to visit during sleeping hours because it's when you're the most receptive. It's when your brain has been able to shut down, shut off, and go into more of a relaxation, theta and REM state. So I was somewhere in between there when I had this visitation, and now I know that it is people trying to get my attention because I have mediumistic abilities. So I know that now, but at the time I didn't. And I was sleeping and I see this like shadow woman standing next to my bed, and I can only see a silhouette of her. And this is when I was actually still sleeping. And then I woke up and I was in that weird in between stage, and I woke up and I could still see her. She was still like standing over my bed. She didn't say anything, but I just watched her walk around the bed. I know this sounds creepy, but I saw her walk around the bed, and she looked at my husband and then she left. As soon as I recognized, like, holy shit, this is real, she vanished. So I say this because the information comes through in the way that you are ready to receive it. I think because I was being told to develop this further, they were like really getting my attention in the 3D of like, all right, you're gonna start seeing things out here until you can pull back and do it in here. So I now have a dialogue with them of, okay, spirit, show me, information inside here. So I'm in a mediumship practice circle, and I will see images. So when I was doing a mediumship reading for some of my classmates, That's the way that I heavily get information, is clairvoyance, but also clairsentience, when you feel things. And I say this because I'll do a mediumship one. That will have its own deeper video than what I've already made. But I'm just saying, like, clairvoyance, you can receive it in your own way. Um, and there's so many different instances where I have been like, okay, like what's happening? But I also knew that my grandma was with me the other day because I kept seeing red cars. Like, if you give your team a way for them to connect with you, you build your own dialogue and your own dictionary with spirit. So if you say, I don't want to see anything out here, let me see it in here, then they will probably respect your wishes. I think just in that instance for me, there was so much going on out here that I was so focused out here and I needed to come back in here. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to share some of that information because I know that it can maybe help some of you with developing your gifts. I don't even want to say gifts because we all have it. It's just sometimes it's more tapped into than others, and we all receive information differently. So, but clairvoyance is really strong in artistic people, hairstylists, tattoo artists, estheticians, the beauty industry in general, interior design, anywhere where you're really having to use your eye, um, to really kind of get the finer details. And that's another thing with clairvoyance, is the more detail that you can get about information, the better it's going to be received. So, the next time that something pops in your head, really hold the picture and analyze the texture, analyze, if it's a picture frame, look at the outside of the frame and really go into detail with it, because that refines your gift even more. So I will do a whole other video on clairsentience, claircognizance, clairaudience, clairgustinance, clairalience. I will give all of them their own informative videos, but I really wanted you guys to know kind of my own experience with clairvoyance, because I also had asked a lot of different mediums. That was another thing that I knew that I was going to be diving into, was mediumship, when I had many mediums around me. When I had friends who were mediums, when I had, mentors that were coming up, I knew, I was like, okay, I hear you. It's time to dive deeper. But I had asked a lot of other mediums about the sparkles. A lot of them couldn't give me an answer. And I was like, I know that this is clairvoyance, but why am I getting this information when other mediums aren't? So that was also something that I had to come back and be like, everybody gets their own information in a different way. So just because one person receives clairvoyance in a certain way doesn't mean that you will, and that's okay. Some mediums don't see shadow people because they don't want to. And for me, I'm curious about it. I want to know why you're here. I want to know, you know, the feeling around it. Like, I just, I don't know. I approach it with curiosity instead of fear. And I think that's why, another reason why they're okay with giving me stuff on the outside too. So, but I just wanted to share that with you. I hope this helped, and I will see you on the next one. Blessed be.